Hey guys, so this is week one of this experiment I'm trying out. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this channel, I'm pretty much tracking and documenting my progress with my journey, my goal. So I have my own company. It's called the Hotspot. It's a digital media company. We do website design, video production, social media growth, and sales funnels. And that's one part of my gig. I'm also, I consider myself endurance sports enthusiast, not an endurance athlete. I'm not there yet. It's going to take a while for me to get there, I think. But I'm going to track my progress on the Hotspot, kind of my training, and really just kind of my business strategies, my fuck ups, my fails. And the biggest thing that I'm trying to do is no editing. So if I flub, mess up, whatever, I'm just going to keep rolling with it. So every week, every Sunday, I sit down 15 to 30 minutes and I recap the past week and kind of go over, what went well, what am I trying, where am I with my goals, what benchmarks did I hit, what did I fall short on, etc. So this is week one. Hopefully one day I can come back here and see the progress I've made, but let's see. So this past week, and I'll just, because it's week one and I've got a lot of gaps to cover, let's just go over this past month. So I ended up, I hired officially my first employee for the Hotspot. He is a junior associate and he graduated high school 2 years ago. Super smart kid. He's been kind of off and on with me for the past 6 months. It's really kind of gelled though this past month. So I was extremely happy to bring him on. I also brought in kind of a part-time employee right now. She is kind of moving into the social media growth aspect, but she's also kind of acting as the head of admin. And that's been going pretty well with those two super bright kids. They're motivated, kind of training them on processes and stuff. And that leads me into the next thing. So processes. So for the time that I've really pushed on this for the past 2 years, I had no processes. I didn't have any project management processes. I didn't have any sales processes. I had nothing down on paper. It was all in my head. And I'd learned a lot from other people in the industry and really retained a lot of knowledge. But as I brought on these people, I started to realize, they're not doing what I want them to, or they don't understand, and that's because they can't read my mind. And this, I think, was last week, 2 weeks ago. I took a trip to Miami, and there I stayed up 4 nights in a row from 8 or 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Writing these processes. So within the span of a week, from the 2 years that I didn't have anything, in the span of a week, I knocked out the employee handbook, I knocked out the sales process system, I knocked out the intake system, and I knocked out the project management and client management system. So made a bunch of progress on the Hotspot these past 2 weeks. Structure-wise, I feel a lot more organized. I'm feeling like we're going to move forward a little bit better. And I'm going to have to watch myself occasionally on these vlogs because, I'm very proud of the company. But, I do want to stress to everyone that I'm still in the infant stages of this company. And that's what these videos will serve as, is to track it. So I may sound like I'm boasting, and I'm going to check myself when I start feeling like I'm trying to sell the Hotspot, because this is not what I want that to be. I want it to be transparent, real, raw, all that good stuff. So let's see, that's the good stuff. Everything's been kind of organized. Another good thing, it's interesting, as soon as I implemented these processes, even though my junior associate and new person haven't closed anyone yet, myself, I've become really, really organized, and I closed the most clients I've closed in a row in 2 days. So we are on track to hit our goals for this month. And just being totally transparent. So the goal per month gross initially by myself for the Hotspot was about $3,000. Doesn't sound like a lot, and it isn't a lot, but it got me by, and I was able to reinvest a little bit of that into the company, while also being able to invest in some stocks. And I've got rental property. That's actually where I am now. I live here in one half, and I Airbnb out the other half. and just to be, completely out there. So this first video is probably gonna be all over the place because I've got a lot to catch you guys up on, as well as for the video to have documentation of. So backing it up just to an overall scheme, I invest in real estate. I put a little group together. This is the first property. Like I said, I'm living in one half, renting out the other. I'm looking at closing on another investment property here this month, actually. July 20th is the close date. So real estate, love that. That's the first thing. The second thing is stocks. So I'll put some money in some stocks. My girlfriend and I, we invest in stocks, so I try to put some money towards there when I can. I use Robinhood. And if you guys want, I'll tell you what stocks I'm invested in, kind of what the strategy is behind that. And then finally, my main gig is the Hotspot. And again, that's full service digital company. I actually got started in the Hotspot because I built a website and just for fun, whatever, just built it. And someone asked me, well, hey, can you build a new website? And I said, sure. What is it about? And they told me and all that. And then they said, how much do I need to pay you? And I was like, what? I had no idea that I could actually charge for a service like that. And they ended up paying me $1,000, which at that time was the most cash that I'd ever been paid at once. So back to kind of what the Hotspot's doing this month. So our standard, when I was by myself, I was shooting for about $3,000 a month. I said gross salary, but that's net. So really it was closer to $4,000 to $5,000 gross per month. What's great about this month is it's July 5th today, and July 1st and 2nd I closed physical cash $2,000 and closed enough money where they're going to go ahead and pay. We're on track to hit about $7,000 this month, so that's going to be about $5,000 net if we don't bring in anybody else just from those first 2 days. So by implementing those processes, I can feel I can already feel I'm way more organized. I'm hitting it hard. I'm getting stuff done. It's feeling really good. So all you guys out there starting a business, I'd recommend doing that. But that's neither here nor there. If you guys have questions, I'll tell you what limited knowledge I have. And just to reiterate, like I said, I'm still starting out. I have a lot to learn, but I've learned a lot in these past 2 years of what not to do more than what to do. So that's all the good stuff. Everything's rocking along. Let's see. Any strategies? So we're actually I'm starting a funnel for the website itself. That's one of the offerings we have with our company, and it's going all right. The cost per click, which is how much I'm spending for somebody to click my website link, is higher than I wanted. And I think I'm because we're being a little bit too specific, and a little bit of history on or information on what area we're in. I'm on the Gulf Coast of Alabama, so Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Alabama, near Pensacola, Florida, and Mobile, Alabama. And that's kind of our area of operation. Is Escambia County, Mobile County, Baldwin County. I plan, like I said, I have a lot of plans, and this will track that progress, but I plan to expand into the Atlanta market, the Nashville market, Orlando, Miami area. But right now we're operating in those 3 counties. So I have my main office is in Foley, and it's a little kind of like a co-working space. Super cheap. Oh my gosh, is it cheap? It's so awesome. It's $250 a month for it's a tiny little room. I think it's 15 by 20, something like that room. So I get that room, it has electrical, and it's shared like bathrooms and stuff, but I get access to 2 conference rooms, which are never taken up. Great place to meet clients. And I also have a satellite office in Mobile. I know an attorney over there that lets me use that space when I need to meet clients. It's like once a week I go over there, like every Thursday. And then I have a satellite office at Pensacola. That's where my video team is based for the Hotspot. And anytime I need to go over there and meet a client, work on a video project, I can go over that in that area. So that's pretty awesome. let's see. So that's kind of more about the logistics that we have. And just to be frank, so my goal with the hotspot, some of you guys might be wondering, and this is just, again, transparency, whether anybody sees this or not, this is for me in the future, is I want to build the biggest social media, just digital agency in the southeastern United States. So what that entails, and the reason I don't want to be the biggest nationwide, at least not initially, I don't know, Southeast is pretty big, I'll take that for now, is I'm going to let Gary Vee have the northeastern sector. So he actually inspired me to do this because I was reading his book, Crushing It, which I would check out. It's called Crushing It by Gary Vee. One of his things in there is like, you know, if you're shooting content, just do it for the purpose of, you know, documentation. So I think that's really cool because we do this for our clients that we handle. We help them with their video and their content and their branding, but I've never done this for myself. So it's a little weird being on the other end of the camera. So anyway, shout out to Gary Vee. If you guys don't know him, he's a hell of a guy. He's on the forefront. He has his own digital company called VaynerMedia, and he's killing it. I mean, this guy's crushing it. So I aspire my company to be, you know, hopefully as big as his one day, but I'm going to let him have the Northeast. I'm going to target to be the biggest in the Southeastern region. So back to the previous weeks, and it's a stream of consciousness, so I may seem all over the place, and I apologize if that's the case, but I mean, the first couple videos are going to be like that because I feel like I really need to explain kind of who I am, what I do, what my goals are, especially, like I said, just for the record. So that's the hotspot, and I'm mainly going to be talking about the hotspot. I'll give real estate updates and rental income and that stuff as it progresses, but I'm actually finishing out the rooms right over there. That room will be finished out tomorrow or Tuesday. It's taken a long time, but it's almost done. Moving in a futon and putting a floor down, and then that's ready to go. So let's see. Yeah, so this past week was great in terms of clients and closing them. And one big thing that's really changed with the processes is the sales process and the intake process is great. I'm glad those are on paper in the employee handbook. That's the rock. But the most important thing that I think I've noticed so far is the project management process. So one of the biggest problems I'd been having, I had with my worker when he was working for me, without a process, is managing clients. So I was getting absolutely chewed out and disappointed customers because we had no way we were doing the work, but they were in the dark and they didn't know. So recently I put that process together. I was like, I've got to fix this problem because it was starting to really, you know, make me feel like, okay, our work is not where it needs to be. So after putting that process together, we've already been way more communication with them. We've had more like just here's what's going on with your project that we're working on, and keeping them in the loop, which has made me feel really good because they know what's going on and there's better communication. So that's a big thing I've noticed is by putting that process in place, you know, even if it's templated emails, like, hey, here's what's going on in your project, click the link, let us know. It's the same message, but by sending that out, they feel so much better. And I feel better because they can let us know what's going on instead of just every month sending out a bill. That's how I used to do it, and I hated it because they didn't know what the hell was going on, and then next thing I know, they're pissed off because it's taking too long. But then I was like, well, I was waiting on you, but there was no communication. So man, I'm so stoked because by having these processes in place, I mean, it's gonna be incredible. So I'm excited to see how that takes us moving forward with all that good stuff, because I think it's just gonna make a hell of a difference. So my schedule, I actually changed up my schedule this past week. I usually would crush it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, do pretty good on Thursday, pretty much say fuck it on Friday. I call it fuck it Fridays. Saturday work again, Sunday take completely off, which is why I'm going to do the videos on Sundays, because it's a better time for me. But I used to probably work 40 to 50 hours a week, so that was good, solid, solid work week, whatever. But now I'm going to be targeting closer to about 80. So to break it down, so Monday, 15 hours, wake up about 5 a.m., workout, be at work by about 6, and then, I'm looking, let's see, from 6 until 9 p.m. work, and that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, same schedule. And that's going to be 45 hours the first 3 days, so that's majority. And then Thursday, I'm looking at about probably 10 hours, so we'll be put at 55 hours. And I may have actually had my math wrong, so we'll see what this total's up to. So 45 hours Monday through Wednesday, 10 hours on Thursday, that's 55. Friday, I work most of the morning until about 1 p.m. and then I gotta take like the afternoon, play some golf, hang out, practice piano, do whatever the heck. I gotta give myself a break. So that's probably about 7 to 1. So that's 6 hours. So I'm looking at 61 hours. And then Saturday I crush it. That's another like 12-hour day. And I'm looking at 73. And then Sunday I take off. So I take that back. I was actually wrong on my math. I'm looking closer to 73 hours per week. So that's 15 on Monday, 15 on Tuesday, 15 on Wednesday, 10 on Thursday, 6 on Friday. I may have said 7, but regardless. And then Saturday, I'm looking at about 12 to 15 hours. So that's kind of my schedule, at least my planned schedule. So that's going to be a ass kicker, but I'm telling you, I'm feeling this new motivation because of the systems in place. And I've started to bring people along. So no longer I'm not flying solo anymore. I mean, I brought on a good amount of people, and I'm really excited to see what they can contribute to the company. So biggest thing, I want to lead by example. So I'm going to be busting my ass, doubling down, pretty much doubling the hours that I was working, and make it happen. So this past week was really good. I'm looking forward to this next week. I'm trying to think of anything else to mention on this first take, which, by the way, that's my goal. I'm going to try to make these one take all the way through, no edits. It's going to be raw, unfiltered, transparent. I mean, straight documentation purposes. Anything else? I think that's about it for this first week, and I'll be adding in bits and pieces of my goals throughout this. I don't think I can cover them all in the first day. I actually just got back from the driving range, so I'm a little tired. But every Sunday I'm gonna put out just a recording, 15 to 30 minutes. This one might not even be but 10 minutes long, but that's pretty much this past week in a nutshell. So yeah, I'll probably be a little more specific going forward now that I've got kind of the broad scheme of things taken care of. But that's kind of the gist of everything. And whether people watch this or not, if people do watch this, if someone is watching this, feel free to comment a question, because I'm sure there's going to be more specific things you want to know, if anything. So yeah, I'll be posting something next Sunday. I can't promise anything on the time. One last thing, I did think of it. So one last thing I want to say. So I'm excited about this experiment. As I get more involved, I may end up building out a specific studio just for me. So we have a studio at our Foley location, and in Mobile, and actually not in Mobile, in Pensacola, not in Mobile. And I may build one out for myself. So as we put out these videos, I think it'll be cool to really see what the set looks like as it evolves, and really just the scenery. My like, this is weird for me talking into a camera, so I want to see how that develops. The style, the audio. I mean, everything's gonna I think it's gonna be a really cool progression to watch and just see the evolution of this. So yeah, this is week 1 down. Next week will be week 2, and I'll keep you guys posted. This upcoming week, I'm gonna be hitting it hard on sales. Gonna try and close 3 new people next week, so bump that 7 to 10,000. That'll be the that'll be one of the biggest months the company's ever had. And I want to hit right off the bat. So I'll keep you guys posted.